Everyone, my name is Darius Shankar. I am the chair of the City of Albany Industrial Development Agency Finance Committee meeting. We have a quorum today. Five of our members here, Chris Becks and Joe Better are not in attendance for this. The first order of business as always is I would ask for a motion to waive the reading of the minutes and to accept them as presented.
So move.
All right, second.
Second.
All right, any comments? Additions, corrections, deletions, all in favor of accepting the minutes as presented.
Aye.
All right, second order of business, report of the chief financial officer. So.
No, we do that.
Okay.
Substitute.
Chief
Yes,
financial officer.
substitute today. Within your packets is the statement of revenue and expenses compared to budget through, the quarter ending June 30th, 2025. I think the second quarter was a strong quarter. We just recently closed a big project, at the end of the month. And I think all indications will be that you guys will probably project out to beat your annual budget based on a couple of the projects that are, we expect to close by the end of the year.
Perfect. Any questions for anybody? All right. Being no unfinished business, what we want to do new business, the exciting South End LLC project. It's about, I'm understanding this correctly, it's the land bank properties. Correct. Okay, that are going to be repurposed and reconstructed. All right.
Thank you. So we are introducing South End Second Ave LLC today, also known as Mosaic South. The application and supplemental materials are in your packets. This project is a scattered site consisting of 62 currently vacant and underutilized properties in the South End neighborhood, located on Broad Street, Clinton Street, South Brill Street, Tunis Street, Second Ave, and Third Ave. There is a map of those parcels included in the materials. This project will construct 62 buildings consisting of 166 units of affordable housing for residents between 50 and 80% of the AMI. This will include approximately 160,000 square feet of residential space, 1,600 square feet of commercial space, and 26,000 square feet of common area. The applicant is currently seeking 4% low-income housing tax credits through Homes and Community Renewal. And this project is being undertaken through a partnership between the Albany County Land Bank, who is the current owner of the properties, and a joint venture between MDG RNY Real Estate Partners and Novus Living LLC. We do have a number of the project representatives from each of those entities with us today. So with that, I will turn it over to them to speak about the project.
Sure. Well, good afternoon, good afternoon, right? From Clark, the Albany County Land Bank. Pleasure to be here with you today. And this is a project that has been worked through the process all along. We're excited to get it to this stage and start to work with HCR. We're really fortunate to be able to present the project to you, ask for your assistance and support in making this possible. You're very familiar with the South End, and I grew up on Delaware, so I'm quite intimately familiar with the South End growing up. This is an area that really is going to benefit from this injection of capital investment with our partners here. So we were thrilled to get it to this level. I don't have the best in the details in it. I'll do it to our development that we get into that though.
Sure. So good afternoon, morning. My name is John Lurinas. So I'm from MDG Design and Construction. We're a family-ran organization company based out of Long Island. And since 1988, two founding principals who are here in Troy right now, collectively they've completed about 22,000 units strictly affordable housing. And so I oversee, as a senior project manager, all the capital region things that are going on. And right now we've got about 1,100 units in various stages of redevelopment, construction, and working towards stabilization and conversion, all of which are affordable. And so we've got some great partners that are working with us, both from the Land Bank, New York State Homes and Community Renewal. We're going to be working with Pike as the general contractor and Wingate as the property manager. But right in sum, it's 166 units. The design is falling in line with the historical context of that neighborhood with a little bit of a modern flair to it and preserving that area and that overall look. So everything is predominantly done as of right. We've been working with the planning board for quite a number of years This project has taken years, but it's come to fruition and reality that we're working towards a construction loan closing in December. Basically by September, we have penciled down with all of our third-party partners. So that way we can work with the state of New York to go through their credit committee and board committee, but to ultimately close before Christmas. And then it'll be about 24 months. And then we will complete all 62 buildings, 166 units, all of which are affordable. Right now, we're working with the state on the parameters of that affordability, but our range is anywhere between 50% AMI up to 80%. So there's a little bit of a wider net and different pay. The community center is going to be provided. There's going to be in-unit hookups for washers and dryers. And predominantly, it's all market rate appliances, finishes. MDG pretty much prides themselves on the caliber, regardless of it being deemed affordable or market rate. So we're excited with our team here to provide something that the community needs, the area needs, and with your guys' help as well as the land bank, we're gonna make this a reality. Anything?
Did we lose live stream for a second? What happened?
Cut out for a moment, the owl just turned off by itself, but the live stream is still running.
Okay, all right.
I don't know if I can reiterate that exactly. But you know, I gotta say, we work with like Darren Scott, who has formerly worked at the Albany Housing Authority, has been working on this project or this area for years. Some of our third-party consultants have been working on the planning of this area for years. So to see this area now come to a reality of positive change is an exciting thing to be part of. So we'll have to answer any questions, but we're excited to kind of make this project happen. Thank you.
I just have a few questions. Are there any vacant parcels that are being? These all reconstruction of existing.
So the Albany Land Bank, there are 2 parcels owned by Habitat. And then several owned by the city, all of which will be transferred to the land bank's ownership prior to closing. They're all vacant. All 62 parcels are currently vacant.
I'm talking about vacant land.
Yeah, sorry, they're all vacant land. Any pre-existing buildings had already been demoed before we're speaking here today.
So, but these not reconstruction?
No, those are all renderings. I'm sorry.
Okay,
That should basically to depict,
so they're all vacant.
they're all vacant.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Let's keep questions I had. Okay. Anybody else, any questions?
Just something staff would like to know for the committee is that this project is requesting a deviation in the assistance. Typically for a purpose-built affordable housing project, our standard pilot will be a 10% shelter rent pilot. They've requested a 5% shelter rent pilot. Of note, there is precedent for that. This is a large scatter site project, so there's certainly increased costs and complexities with completing a project of this scale. Previously, we've seen larger scatter site projects request that 5% shelter rent as well. Staff is analyzing that request on a financial level. Cursory review shows that it is warranted. However, we will be going out to third party to validate that initial take. So stay tuned for that analysis, which will be forthcoming as this project comes back again for further discussion and analysis.
No, those parcels are off the tax road right now, like land bank properties.
That's correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
so anything we get, is better than nothing.
If I may just add one more thing, we are doing water and sewer infrastructure repairs and replacements. So that's with the city's request, so we factored that into our redevelopment plan and construction scope.
The total is like $97 million investment
That's correct.
for 66 units, 66 buildings.
62 buildings, 166 units.
Okay. A lot of money for building.
It-
Right,
I don't know how to necessarily answer that. What I can say is in comparison to a typical rezoning, bigger building, there are economies of scale in that respect. There definitely is economies of scale by doing 62 individual parcels at once. That being said, to maintain the historical context of the neighborhood and not go through rezoning and getting HRC approval, we wanted to make sure that we did not do something that would adversely affect the neighborhood. So there are higher costs attributed to doing, 62 individual utility connections. Our sprinklers, we've got boilers independent to each unit and to each building. So there definitely is added cost that you would see from an atypical or typical, multifamily single stick shelter. But we're confident that what we're doing here is gonna be a positive change, and we've got the support of Goldman Sachs as our equity investor, who will be helping to contribute to this revitalization.
The neighborhood comments, and assuming go to the planning process, obviously, so the neighborhood group.
We've had several, I can let Sean will speak further, but we've been part of meetings, one several months ago. For which we displayed these renderings, and it was all positive. It was more or less as to when and how fast, which I think is exciting to see.
That was what we hear.
Yeah, we had a remarkable turnout for that meeting earlier this year, and it was actually one when we organized it, staff, we as a team, we were like, not sure who's gonna show up. And I was actually speaking out of town, got back a little early, came in, and the room was packed, and it was really, the good energy around there. I don't think we had anybody that was walked out of there upset. A lot of people wanting to know how they can be a part of, how they can continue to support this along, and I'm not making that up, I think, that's what I observed, so it was a great end.
One question, pardon me if I may have missed it, not going over this in advance, will you be working with any local companies as far as the actual construction work?
So we will be having hiring events. Being that this is part of HFA or HCR, there are required hiring bans, MWBE, disabled veterans. So there are requirements that the general contractor does have to make best efforts for. So we will be exploring that and working with the land bank to help kind of broadcast that. Do our best for our ability.
Hey, who's our contractor is here in Albany, so they're local companies.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else, some other questions, comments, and information? All right, so this is just a project introduction. So we'll be hearing more of this in the future.
Next month.
All right. Perfect, sounds good.
Awesome.
Coming in.
Thanks for having us. Thank you very much.
You guys, appreciate it.
You have more for this.
Sorry, we can leave it and come back, or we can just break it down.
Great now. Great. We'll just continue this, is there any agency update?
There will be,
Okay.
that we would recommend entering into executive session there is.
Okay, very clear.
Sure. Yes, so we did receive an inquiry from the OSC regarding our annual reporting. We submitted a formal response last week. They did accept our response, and we're in the process of recertifying and resubmitting the annual reporting.
All right. We'll be quiet as we can be short with that.
Okay.
All right, so agency updates.
That we would recommend going to executive session to discuss the financial history of organization.
Great.
Bringing that.
The motion to go into executive session. Ballot and send out that final. Second, John, in favor? All right.
So do we.
Back, it looks way more.
All right.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Right?
Get these back up.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Lydia,
sorry.
I'm not leaving the building.
All right. We're back in executive session. Election state, we were in executive session to discuss the, a certain property. Basically, all. Moving on, we've already done, compliance update, so if there's anything further, we can take a motion to adjourn. All right, so move, second.